Very well-loved book of mine. It's a poetry book. It's kind of falling apart, hence I carry it around in this bag. Time Enough. This is a poem by Dana Folds. Time enough. The wisdom voice says, be still. Take time for what is truly important. I imagine myself diving, leaving behind an untidy trail of what's not needed. I cast aside worry, which has never brought me anything even remotely useful. I let go of doubt in all of the countless ways I tie myself in knots. Scattered behind me like discarded clothes are old beliefs, selfish agendas, my fixed and false identities, and attachment to particular results. Weightless and miraculously free, my eyes shine with wonder and enthusiasm. The wisdom voice says, there is always time enough for joy. And right now we have before us time for joy. We're going to work a little bit in reverse today by finishing with the more stretching and soothing postures and beginning with the more movement-oriented and rigorous postures. So we're going to kind of flip the script, if you will. So the first thing I'd like to let you know is we are going to start with a little drill regarding gait awareness. We will be standing up and sitting down, and we will be walking forward and walking back. Now, if you do not wish to walk forward or walk back, you can march on the spot without actually ambulating over space. If you're worried about your balance, you can turn side on and use the back of your chair to help you stand up and walk away from the chair and walk back. And if you just simply don't wish to do that at all, you can stay in your chair and just lift your knees as if you were walking. All right, so what I want to do is bring awareness to our position in our body when we're walking. And I've noticed this a lot because I've been doing more walking myself. Like even when I'm out maybe hiking with my husband, my head is like this. And I don't even realize that I'm doing it. And so I've been really focusing on bringing that up and bringing my head in alignment with my spine. So let's begin with the idea of just lifting out of the chair and making sure that we're engaged in our core, stacked in our shoulders, and our head is a natural extension of our spine. I think it's every inch forward that we pronate or stick out the head is 15 more pounds on your back. So 1 inch, 15 pounds. Okay, so from your seated position, first move around in the soles of your feet and attend to the sole of the feet. Then you want to think about, bring that awareness up the legs, feel your hips in the chair, and then kind of knit your ribs around your spine. So draw in, acknowledge or clamp the strength in the core with the hands on the legs, shoulders over hips, head in line, press out of the floor and stand up. I'm gonna move back here. And then I want you to take 4 steps forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn around, walk back. Pick up items in your way on the way. Turn around, and then keeping your gaze forward, make sure your chair is there to catch you. Notice the process as you sit back down into the chair, and just notice how you get there. So I want to do that twice more, but all I want you to do is just notice what your body is doing. Try not to really change anything. Let your body be natural and go on autopilot. So let's lift up, walk, Turn around, walk back. Turn around just for safety, make sure your chair is there and sit down. And let's do that one more time. And maybe we'll think of it as autopilot. All right, so I'm going to confess I'm totally cheating. I am totally aware of my posture, my alignment. I'm really trying to correct that. And so I was actually doing it correctly, but I know that I do it incorrectly because we all have this thing where we do a task over and over and over and over and over again. It becomes a process of muscle memory and we don't bring mindfulness or attention to it. So now let's bring the mindfulness and attention. So begin by feeling the bottom of the foot against the floor. And notice how the weight shifts along the bottom of the foot. So notice the feet on this round. So press into the feet and stand up. And then now notice your shoulders, the back of the head. So without these shoulders up here, right? Let them slide down your back. Now notice when you walk how you roll your feet as you walk forward. And turn around and walk back. And turn around and walk down. Sit down. So some of us walk with our feet separated, right? And then if we're trying to be cute or sassy, we might put one foot right in front of the other. So notice the alignment, the space between your feet. Let's go again. So I'm going to do my sexy catwalk. And have a seat. We want to bring awareness to our gait, to how we walk, because that is something we do all day long, every day. And if we're doing things weirdly or in intense fashion, it's stress on the body. So a natural placement of the foot, naturally aligning with the hips. Use our strength to support us. Check in on the shoulders and the head. One more time. And we'll have a seat. Okay, so that was my first little drill that I wanted to do today. The next drill I'd like to do is also in standing. You will want a little bit of space to lift your leg in front of you and behind you. So we'll stand up. Now, I'm going to just keep my chair right next to me like this, and I will have my chair here for balance. I think that all of us will be okay in this position. If you do not wish to stand, sit on the chair, but give your leg a little bit of room to move and anchor yourself with your hand so you don't slouch and lose your posture. So anchor yourself with your hand and give yourself a little bit of room to move the leg. So we'll start with an outside leg focus. So not inside where you can knock the chair, an outside leg focus. Bringing up that mountain pose. Actually, let me start by breaking down mountain pose. Soles of the feet about 4 to 6 inches apart. Rock back on your heels, lift your toes. Rock forward on the balls of your feet, lift your heels. And then come to a neutral position between. You want to pull up with the strength without locking the knees. Engage the quads. Create a neutral pelvic bowl. So you wouldn't, if you were, imagine your pelvic bowl as a cup, it wouldn't pour forward, it wouldn't pour back. It's a neutral pelvic bowl. The tailbone is down, knitting the ribs, opening the heart, Shoulders down the back, arms by the side, palms forward. Check the alignment of the head, draw the line of the jaw, and then soften the teeth. Lift the crown of your head. So this is your strong mountain pose. Now from here, you can rest your hand on the chair. I'm going to ask you to lift your outside knee up and down. You can go as fast or as slow as you want, and maybe bring your hand to your belly and feel your core assisting you as you pull the knee up. Now maybe you only lift a little bit. Maybe you simply tap forward and back, and that's fine as well. But I want you to feel what's happening in your body. So are you using your core to help you? Are you sinking into the standing leg, or are you bracing and lifting out of the standing leg? All right, we'll release that for a moment. Now, making the leg longer. Longer levers are harder because more of your body is moving against gravity. So extending the leg out longer in some way for you. Maybe you can straighten your knee. Lift up and down. And notice the work here. You might notice you start to fold a little bit forward. I would like for you to fight that. I would like for you to keep the dignified posture. Let's do 4 more. And release in. So we have a lot of movements we can do around our hip joint. Luckily, it's a very powerful joint. Tap your toe forward, sweep around behind you, tap around and sweep to the front. So just go ahead and start sweeping your leg. You want to think 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Check in with your core. Actively lift out of your support leg. Be strong. Now you can shorten this range. You always have options. Now I'd like you to sweep back and stay. So I'd like you to take your leg either straight behind you or on just a smidge of an angle. So not out to the side. Whatever feels natural for you. And then I want you to take your body weight and shift forward onto the foot that's supporting you. So it's a slight angle at the spine. Hold that belly into support. And I want you to lift the long leg up in the air. And I want you to feel your hamstring. So the long leg is lifting up behind you. It's a tiny movement. It does not need to be big. And I want you to notice your hamstring muscle. Notice your glute muscle. So lift that leg up and down. Let's do 8 more. And 8. And step in and pull. So last movement on this side is we'll do just a little bit of balance. I want you to stand on the one foot. So you can simply lift your knee and hold. If you prefer, you can take tree pose, resting your ankle alongside the sole of your foot alongside your ankle or your calf, but not alongside your knee. I'm actually touching the chair. I'm going to step away. So then I would encourage you to challenge your balance. So try letting go. Balance is deep strength work. It requires a lot of muscles to work in coordination together. It also connects the mind to the body. A lot of automatic things are happening right now that you don't have to really think about to hold you in your balance. If If you need to tap down and grab that chair, come back, do so. And then the challenge with balance is what happens when you lean. So maybe practice leaning and notice the wobble. The wobble is fine. If you wobble and have to grab the chair, that's a good thing. You're testing your edges and your boundaries. But I'd like to see you play around a little bit and kind of challenge your balance so that when you're out in real life, you can catch yourself when you trip up. Maybe you're walking and you trip on something on the ground, you trip over a crack in the sidewalk, you trip over your foot. The more we can balance, the more likely we are to catch ourselves versus fall. All right, that's good. Let's go around to the other side. Yoga is a practice. What we do during this hour of joy, during this pure hour of joy, is meant to, it's not something that occurs in this space and then it's set aside. It's meant to bleed over into your everyday life. Right, so noticing the core, so let's get set into the foundation of the support leg. Pull up with strength without locking your knee. If you lock your knee, you're resting on your bones and you're creating unnecessary wear and tear on that knee joint. So we don't want to lock. It's like a stilt. We don't want to do that. We want to have a micro bend in the knee and engage the muscles to hold us upright. Outside knee, lift up and down. Notice that pelvic bowl. Keep it neutral. Remember your options. You can tap forward and back. You can lift all the way up to hip height, or you can lift a little bit lower. That's fine. You can practice with your hands free. Use the core. Feel the core helping you as you move that leg. All right, now let's take the leg long. So longer out, it may still have a bent knee, but make the leg a longer limb, whatever works for you. Set yourself, pull up on that marionette string, and lift the long leg up and down. So in this movement right now, your quadricep is your primary mover. Remember, we have a tendency to want to fold here at the waist. Try to keep those shoulders over the hips. Keep moving. So the idea is to keep the shoulders over the hips so the back stays really straight. The leg is moving up and down. That's it. The upper body is very quiet. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now let's do some sweeps. Not only is that good for the hip joint, it's also good to challenge our balance. So to the front, sweep around to the back, to the front. Now you can trace the floor if you'd rather. You can lift high if you'd rather. You can bend your knee. Do a quick scan of the body from the feet to the crown of the head. All right, let's sweep back and stay. So we'll keep that leg back behind us. You're actually going to shift forward onto the front leg. Again, we're not going to collapse down. We're going to be strong. We're going to use the core to hold the spine. Lift the leg up and down in the back. You can practice some without holding on. Now, the more you bend, the further you reach your nose over your toes, the harder it will be, the more the muscle will work. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1, and now let's balance on this other side. So again, you may choose to lift the knee in front and kind of float the foot. You may choose tree pose. Wherever you are, draw that strength up. So the beautiful thing about balance work is that it also engages your mind, your focus, and your concentration. You have to stay connected mentally in order not to fall out. And then bring some small movement to challenge those edges. Create a place where you wobble so that you practice catching yourself and fixing it. So this is not a game of perfect. It's meant to be where you find a point where you wobble and you feel insecure and then you pull yourself together. That's practicing recovering from a trip when you're outside of the studio. So one of the worst things for me is when you're walking downstairs and you skip the last stair, you know what I mean? Like when you trip over the last stair, or when you're stepping down from a curb and you don't realize you're stepping down from a curb and you're like, oh, my ankle. Yeah, we want to practice. We want to practice catching ourselves. All right, that's good. Let's come around to the chair. Have a seat. Please avoid leaning back. I would like for you to use your core muscles to hold your torso upright. Let's stretch that out. So bring one leg up and over. It doesn't matter where you are. So coming back to the idea that this is a practice, we're meant to be reminding ourselves of skills, physical skills in our body. We're meant to be practicing them, checking in on them, assessing them, correcting them. It's a practice. We're also meant to practice tapping into more than our physical power. Our power for our mind, our intellectual power, our mental power, and our spiritual power. With the leg in this position, anchor down through your sit bones, connect them to the seat of your chair. Breathe in to create length, a sense of lifting. Breathe out to begin to fold forward. Now, where you reach your sticky spot is going to vary by person. So just play around here. When you reach your first sticky spot, take a breath in and out, and then ask for a little bit more. Find another sticky spot, breathe in and out, and ask for a little bit more. But please keep anchoring down. I don't want your bottom to start lifting off the chair. If your bottom starts lifting off the chair, you're cheating on the stretch. Oh, that feels really good. Okay, and let's switch around to the other side. So I like to think of this as bittersweet. Anchoring down the sit bones first. Breathe in to get the length in the spine. Okay, here we go. Start folding forward. Now, as you reach those sticky spots, use your breath to guide you. Use your breath to lay the road out, the roadmap, the plan. Let your breath get you there. Find the sticky spot, breathe in, breathe out, and go deeper. We have to find these little points of challenge and breathe through them. Change only occurs in a challenge zone. Let's take another breath. And release. Placing that down. Okay, so have a seat. You're off the back of the chair. Make sure you have some room to move. Let's begin with some shoulder work because I want to release through the shoulders, and then we're going to move into some core work. So dropping the chin to the chest, sweep around to one side, anchor down with the opposite hip, sweep around to the other side, anchor down with the hip, continue moving. Make that feel really delicious for you. Imagine that you're really pulling your head out of your spine. You're lengthening your neck. Let's sweep around. We'll pause at one shoulder and we'll extend that opposite arm, deepening the stretch there. So looking to really create that length from the fingertip to the crown of the head. If you'd like to kind of pull on that ear a little bit, go for that. But again, in this position, we may find that we start slouching and letting go of our strength. Use our core strength to get up there. And let's release that. Drop the chin, sweep around to the other side and hold. Set first, then extend the arms. Start noticing, so tuning in intellectually to the length on the side, fingertip to crown of head. Energetically, organically create that length. Maybe add the little pull on the ear, so don't mush down on your head, kind of pull up and over with the ear. And release. So now we'll take some cats and cows. Remember, that's the undulating, the rippling in the spine. And I would like for you to mindfully try to carve out bigger arcs in both directions. I prefer to cut my knees. You may like to hold on to the base of the chair. There's no right or wrong here. This is about you feeling into your space and bringing mobility and pliability to your spine. So I'm going to pull through, really shine my heart forward. Cow pose creates that pull in the base of the back. Anchor down, pop the tailbone, really work into that pull in the back. And then we'll take the reverse. So here we tuck, pull your chin in and open the vertebrae around your back. Mindful. Open the shoulder blades. Squeeze through the chest. Let's go back to cow. Now on cow pose, notice this round. Notice your shoulder blades kissing your spine. Shine that heart through. Point the shoulder blades behind you. Really work into it. So it's open on the chest, it's a contraction on the back, and then reverse it. So contract, squeeze through your chest, open the shoulder blades, push the center of the back towards the chair, scoop and hollow. And then move rhythmically. So whatever works for you, just marry an inhale and an exhale to one movement. So this feels like an inhale to me. This feels like an exhale. Maybe you want to go a little bit faster. Maybe not. Your choice. That's the beauty. This is a practice. It's your practice. You have the power to choose. Let's take one more. And come to neutral. So quick little swim with the shoulders forward and back. Let's take some backstroke. So rather than going on autopilot, really feel into that shoulder joint. Okay. So here we go. We're going to do some work for the core. We did this last week and I really liked this exercise. So we'll start with your right leg, lift it up, grab onto the back of your leg. Maybe you're down here, that's fine. What you're not doing, this is what you're not doing. You're not doing this. No, 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 no. Up. Okay, so from here, this is your leg that's lifted. Extend out the opposite arm in a T shape, keeping pressure at the base of that quad. Now, again, you're going to start wanting to fold in. Don't let that happen. Use the strength to hold yourself up. Keep your leg where it is and extend the other arm. Breathe. Now we're going to take both hands, hold the base, hold underneath, extend the leg out. Notice your core. It's working really hard right now. And switch. Let's go right into the other side. So we'll lift the opposite knee up, hold on to the bottom, settle in. So take that inventory. What's happening? Get it all situated and straight. No. Clasp underneath, extend. Woo, this is hard. Bend the knee and place it down. Okay, so back to the idea of that long levers. I want you to start here. Arms straight and out in front. Don't let those shoulders come up. Roll them down. Avoid slouching. Be strong. I really like the idea of wrapping the muscles around your spine. Now from here, take your right arm, long arm, sweep it behind you. Follow with your gaze. Look behind you. Come through to center. Now, with the arms right out in front of you, we're going to take cat pose. So spine, 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 reach your fingertips to knee. And then use your core strength to straighten back up. Let's go the other way. So sweep the arm, follow with the gaze. Look behind you. Look, look, look. Come back to the front slowly. And then tuck the belly button, tuck the chin. Reach the spine towards the back of the chair. Fingertips towards your device. Use your core strength to lift up. Let's do that again a little more quickly. So we'll take the arm back and we look forward and we look. Cat pose, neutral. Go the other way. Open and look. Close and look. Cat spine. Tap the chair. Use your core strength to lift. One more time. Open, twist and look. Come forward. Roll. Strength to lift. One more time, open and look. Come forward, roll, and core strength up. Release that down. That felt good. So that's some twisting mobility for the spine and lots of core strength as well. Let's just roll the wrists while we give the shoulders a break. So while you're doing your wrist work, I'll show you something really lovely. Yep, that would be from too much scrubbing and cleaning of pots and pans. All right, let's roll the feet as well. Again, I'm just giving the shoulders a break before we come back to some core work. Point and flex. Okay. So creating what I call surrender arms, resting the fingertips lightly on the back of the head, the elbows are wide. So you may be here because that may be your range of motion, but wherever you are, try to really get a little bit open to the extent that it's available for you. From here, I'd like you to take one elbow, cross it over to the front, and then center up. So just feel and notice, observe what's happening in your core as you twist and center. Pull up from the pelvic floor. Try to keep both sit bones down. Try not to let that sit bone lift off the seat. And hold. Now let's tip like a teapot. So up and over. Use your core strength to lift up and set. Up and over. You can even push this side body away. And use your core strength to lift. Up and over. And lift. Up and over. And lift. One more time. Your deepest. Go, 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 go. Core strength up. Other side. Your edge, your deepest. Other side. Lift and release. So quick break for the shoulders. We'll do our finger work. So opening the hands, spirit hands, jazz hands. Bring your pointer finger and ring finger together. Excuse me. Middle and pointer, ring and pinky. I'm getting better at this now that we've done this a lot. I'm getting better at it. I notice that I'm getting better at it, and it shows how the power of that connection of the brain and the body works. And then open and close. And then we'll go to the toes. So curl and stretch your toes. So not your ankles, your toes. Try to spread them and squeeze them in. Yes, it is true. We can hold tension in our fingers and in our toes. Okay, so I'd like to give you a little bit of a challenge today, and it will be a little bit of a challenge. Let me talk you through it first, and then you decide where you're comfortable. You're going to take your hands on the front edge of your chair. You're going to scoot yourself forward, and you're actually going to hold your body weight with your elbows behind you on your chair. So I'm going to turn side on so you can see me. Our arms have to do a lot of work. The strength of the biceps and the triceps do a lot of work. See if you can get your ankles in line with your knees. You've got a bent knee, arms, and see if you can lift yourself up. So push yourself out of the chair. Now this may be enough, and then you put your booty down and take a break. We can also do a little bit of a tricep dip. So you can bend your elbows and lift up. Bend your elbows and look up. Take a break. I can feel my backside brushing against the edge of the chair, and that's good, that's fine. I don't want you to rock. This is not a rock. I want you to bend your elbow and straighten. Now, if you're scared to float your buttocks for any reason, take the same position and literally bend your elbow, straighten. Bend your elbow, straighten. Bend, straighten. Or take the dip on the chair. Let's do 8 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we'll bend and extend. Squeeze and release. So you can create your own resistance if you pretend like you're moving through water. Squeeze, 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 and then resist as you open. Even look down with your eyes and find your bicep muscle. Look at that little ball that gets created in your arm. Notice it, squeeze it, find it, and then let it go. You can breathe in, breathe out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's take some very short modified sun salutations just to create a real sense of movement and to stretch out through the back. Arms by the side, spinning the palms towards me. Looks like somebody, I was going to say you're welcome to stand up if you prefer. We'll inhale the arms high overhead. We'll exhale, swan dive forward, draping the body over the leg. Pause here. Place your palms to your shins, extending the back for flat back extend. Fold in again, your belly touches your thighs. Release the head all the way down. Spin the palms towards me. Root down through your feet, root down through your buttocks. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold with length. So create space in the arms and as you lower down. Palms to the shins, peel the heart up for flat back extend, slide the blades down the back. Surrender again. The belly is against the thighs, the head bows down. So again, root with strength to the earth. So soles of the feet seat into the chair. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold slowly. Flat back, extend. Pressure between the palms and the shins. Release down. Let's go again. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, fold. Going again. Breathe in with joy. Joy, joy, joy. All the way to the top. Breathe out with gratitude. Breathe in with joy. Breathe out with gratitude. One more time. Joy. gratitude, joy, gratitude, and we'll just roll up to seated. So finding a comfortable position for you, if that means resting back in your chair, you're welcome to have that support wherever you can be comfortable and still for a few moments. Closing the eyes and start connecting with the breath. Relax the jaw, relax the space between the eyebrows. Tune into the dignified posture. Tune into your connections to your chair and the floor. Time Enough by Dana Foles. The wisdom voice says, be still, take time for what is truly important. I imagine myself diving, leaving behind an untidy trail of what's not needed. I cast aside worry, which has never brought me anything even remotely useful. I let go of doubt and all of the countless ways I tie myself in knots. Scattered behind me like discarded clothes are old beliefs, selfish agendas, fixed and false identities, attachment to particular results. Weightless and miraculously free, my eyes shine with wonder and enthusiasm. The wisdom voice says, there is always time enough for joy. So let's finish with one collective breath together. We'll inhale the joy up overhead. Exhale, bringing the gratitude to our heart center. Wisdom is knowing we are all one. Love is what it feels like, and compassion is what it acts like. Namaste. All right, let me pop up.